and welcome back to Otaku no Video. Thank you as always for joining me for part 4, the final part of my primer on the Gainax Anime Studio. Now, in previous primers, I talked about the early days of Gainax as a convention organizing group, and then their early work like The Wings of Hanumara, Naughty and the Secret of Blue Water, and then moving up to Neon Genesis Evangelion in the mid-90s, His and Her Circumstances, and their computer games of the 90s. And now we move into the 2000s and the previous decade of Gainax, which has frankly been disappointing. Compared to their amazing artistic achievements in things like Honey and Mise and even Evangelion, their previous work, or their recent works, have been mostly, frankly, like manga adaptations. So 2001 we had Mohoromatic, about a fastidious maid who's a robot who fights things and doesn't like the main character being ecchi, and it's all anime cliches. And it was quite popular when it came out, but then no one sort of did anything. It kind of disappeared in the vacuum. And it has a nice budget, it looks nice, but it's just very cliched. Petite Princess Yusi, or Yuchi, in 2002, Magical Girl Show, yay, because we hadn't had enough of those. Then, actually in 2002, also we had Magical Shopping Arcade Abanobashi. Now, this has its own cadre of fans. Abanobashi was a straight-up parody of anime in general, told as a story of two kids essentially traveling through various anime worlds, roughly. And it has heart. It actually does do dramatic things, it actually does deal with the characters, things like that. So that's fine, but it didn't really have the artistic range or the artistic audacity of Gainax's earlier work, certainly. It's just fun, which is fine, but 2004, Melody of Oblivion, no clue. Then This Ugly Beautiful World in 2004. I watched the first episode and was bored to tears. Naked girls appear in front of guys, and they have powers and all that kind of stuff. And as you all know, I don't mind unoriginal stuff, but this is just the same, as long as that unoriginality is presented in a way that's entertaining. This wasn't even entertaining, it didn't even have a good budget. It was just kind of dry and dull, and I didn't care about any of the characters. 2004, they also decided to go back and do a sequel to Gunbuster, which they called Die Buster. New characters, changes, okay. Because what we need is more sequels to anime from the 80s. I don't know, folks, this got a lot of press when it was first announced and when it kind of first came out, but then it kind of died, like a lot of the other stuff. Folks watched it, it was okay, but, and it was certainly big and over the top, from what I understand, but it just, folks weren't blown away by Die Buster. It's kind of a shame. Then Here's My Master in 2005. This is the story of a couple of girls who agree to be maids for a pervy guy. And so they're basically maids for a pervy guy. That's it. Quasi-porn. No, not actual porn, but lots of ecchi material. Yeah, good. Fortunately, in 2007, Gainax released Tengen Toppa Guren Logan. Now, lots of folks are familiar with Guren Logan, and this has rescued Gainax to a great extent from where they were. Now, Guren Logan is still very much an anime parody and very much anime self-referential. It is very postmodern and very much using aspects of anime in a self-referential way. But it knows how to use those very effectively. And it is building off of the old Giant Robot series of like the 70s, where your characters were big and bold and brassy and huge. And the emotions were huge, and it was just, everything was larger than life, which we hadn't seen for a very long time. So Guren Logan was coming back to that and doing it with flair and panache, and they managed to make a show that definitely worked on that level. And that's really the only interesting thing they've done recently. They did Shikabona Hime, which was a side project with somebody else, which was nice and flashy, but again, kind of fit in with a lot of the other anime that were made at the time. And then just recently, Hanumara Kindergarten, which is the story of a bunch of kids at a kindergarten. And it's a cute little story of a bunch of little, kindergartner blobs They're all walking around and having, you know, little stories and adventures as kindergartners. With the main character, and he's their teacher, and he has a, you know, relationship, all that kind of stuff. But it's fine. It's fine. It's just, it's not Honey Mise. It's not Evangelion. It's not Nadia. It's not Gunbuster. And that's the difficulty with Gainax these days, is they have accomplished so many great things, and in the past decade, most of what they've done has been formulaic. And they were founded, or you know, their original stuff was all very original and very much trying to push anime in more important directions, in ways of being more artistic, being works of art. And their stuff recently has not been works of art. And even their best stuff has been very insular, very focused on otaku themselves. That's a bit of a problem and a bit of a worry about Gainax. But that's just what they're doing, and that's where they are. In a sense, they're a victim of their own success. They've done so well, they have so much money. Evangelion just keeps making them money. That's kind of what it is. One other thing to mention, of course, is the Evangelion movies. In the past couple of years, I think it's something that Tomono also did with Zeta Gundam, Anno decided to come back and do a 4-movie remake of Neon Genesis Evangelion, and they've done the first 2 already, and those are very, very popular. You know, the theaters sold out. The DVDs and Blu-rays sell better than most other anime out there, and in fact, I think almost all anime out there, other than Ghibli stuff. So, I mean, Evangelion is still this cash cow, and I have to admit, I think that in a lot of ways, Gainax doesn't have to compete anymore. They just keep making money off of these products, and they just kind of can sit there and doing that, and they're not being challenged anymore, which is unfortunate because they used to challenge us, and I loved being challenged by Gainax. So hopefully they will return to that. But that's basically Gainax and what they've been doing. There are other little projects scattered about, little things they were trying to do that never really got off the ground, things like that I didn't mention here. This is more, you know, the big remarkable works, or just the works that folks remember when they think of Gainax. So that's it for my Gainax Anime Primer. If you have more comments, more thoughts, stop by my blog, at otakunovideo.net. Shoot me an email at brent@otakunovideo.net, or tweet me on Twitter at otakunovideo. So thanks for watching, take care, and until next time, watch more good anime, I guess.